All right, let's talk about it. A credit card that costs almost $700 a year. I mean, that sounds kind of crazy, right? So today, we're going to dig into one person's actual real-life experience over a full year to see if a premium card like this can ever really be worth that massive fee.
And yeah, let's just get that number right out there from the jump. $695. That's the starting point. So before earning a single point, before using a single perk, our guy's already in a pretty big hole. The real question is, can he actually dig his way out?
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? See, our subject here isn't some globe-trotting CEO. He's a 26-year-old guy with a pretty normal life. Yeah, he likes to travel, but an unexpected job change and a move meant his year didn't exactly go as planned. So the real test is whether this card can work for somebody like him.
So let's look at how he started, because this is the key to the whole thing. The number one reason he even applied for the card was a gigantic sign-up bonus. Think of it like his safety net. It basically guaranteed that no matter what else happened, he was going to come out ahead in year one.
Let's break down the math here, because this is what made it a total no-brainer for him. He got 100,000 points just for signing up. That's worth at least $1,000. Then a special offer gave him another 30,000 points just from his regular gas and grocery shopping. So you're looking at $1,300 in value, which easily wipes out that initial $550 fee. Year one, guaranteed win. But what about all the perks?
Okay, so once that big bonus is in the bank, the real experiment begins. This is where we see the card's famous high-end benefits go toe-to-toe with, well, the messiness of real life. This is such a perfect example of the gap between what a perk looks like on paper and how you actually use it. The dream, of course, was kicking back in fancy airport lounges. The reality? He didn't set foot in a single one all year. His new job meant less vacation time, he ended up driving a lot, and for one trip where he did fly, his flight was at 6 a.m. The lounge didn't even open until 7.
And here's another great one. He was saving up his monthly Uber credits for a big weekend trip to Miami. But at the very last minute, a freak cold snap hits Florida. They call off the trip, and in all the chaos, he just completely forgot to use the credits before the month ended. They just disappeared. Poof, gone.
So, because life happens and things like that are so easy to forget, he takes a really smart, practical approach. He values that $200 annual Uber credit at only 50% of what it says it is, so $100, because he knows some months you're just not going to use it.
But, it wasn't all bad news and missed opportunities. Far from it. A bunch of the card's benefits actually lined up perfectly with his lifestyle and spending, and they gave him easy, straightforward value.
He used the $200 hotel credit for a nice little staycation right in his own city of Philly, and that stay triggered another $100 credit, which completely paid for a nice brunch. He used the $200 airline credit to upgrade his seats on a flight to Chicago for some extra legroom. And get this, he was already paying for Audible, so the digital credit just paid him back for something he was buying anyway. These are just pure, simple wins.
And then you've got the benefits that don't really fit you, unless you get a little creative. The Saks Fifth Avenue credit is a fantastic example of how you sometimes have to actively work a perk to get the money out of it.
Now, check this out. He doesn't actually shop at Saks, so instead he waits for a really good cashback offer to pop up, buys a pair of shoes, and then immediately flips them on an app like StockX. He sells them for basically what he paid, so he breaks even, but he gets to keep the full $100 credit from the card plus the cashback. It's a little bit of work, sure, but it turns that credit into pure cash.
And of course, a lot of the benefits were worth exactly zero to him. He's got a cheap local gym, so the Equinox credit, useless. He doesn't use Walmart Plus, and while TSA PreCheck is cool, he's usually flying at odd hours when the lines are short anyway. It just goes to show you that a long list of perks doesn't mean a thing if they don't actually fit into your life.
So, after a whole year of wins, losses, and some pretty clever hacks, it is time to do the math. Let's pull all this real-world data together and finally, definitively answer that big question from the very beginning.
Okay, here it is, the final breakdown, based only on the value he actually got. $300 from the hotel credits, $200 from the airline credit, about $190 from his Audible subscription, $100 from that Saks hack, and another $100 from his 50% valuation of the Uber credit. That brings the grand total to $890.20.
And here's what that looks like. It's pretty simple, really. On one side, you have the $695 he paid for the card, and on the other, the $890 in change and real, tangible value he managed to squeeze out of it. I mean, it's a clear win.
So, what's the bottom line? He came out ahead by almost $200.
even with several huge benefits going completely unused. For his specific lifestyle and his willingness to manage it, the card absolutely paid for itself.
But, and this is the most important part of this whole thing, that number, that positive 195, that's not the real story here. The real lesson is that this kind of result is deeply, deeply personal.
You know, at the end of the day, the value isn't just handed to you. It's not about twisting your life to fit the card's perks. It's about taking a really honest look at your own habits, at what you already do, and seeing how many of those perks just naturally slot right in.
So he was able to pull almost $900 of value out of this card. But that's his number. That's based on his life. The real question this whole thing leaves us with is, what's your number?